As tensions are brewing in the ancient city of Kano, the two emirs continue to take claim of the emirate. Arise correspondent Ayo Adenaye provides more of an update on this development.
A lot has been happening in the ancient city of Kano, moving from one palace to the other, moving from one location to the other. And right now, I am presently at the palace of Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. And just right behind me, you see a crowd of people trooping in here, some moving out, some coming in. And, you know, a lot of tension within the state, a lot of tension, a lot of apprehension among the people in this particular location. Well, let me just take us a brief of what has happened today. This morning, as early as 1 a.m., Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was moved into this particular palace where I am presently standing here, and it was accompanied along with the state governor, the top government officials, worked with him to be here in this particular palace. And shortly after his arrival, I think at about 8 a.m. thereabout, we also had a news that the deposed Emir, Aminu Ado Bayero too, has also arrived at the state too. And he was also received by a mammoth crowd, in cheerful and in happiness. And he was moved to the other palace, which is known as the Nasarawa Palace. Where I am now is the Rumfa Palace. And the same kind of crowd we have here is also what we also have at that particular location at the Nasarawa Palace, where Aminu Ado Bayero is presently staying. And done with that, also we also got an information that the police too will also want to have a briefing with us on the development that is happening in the state. And in the course of the scenario, the governor earlier issued a press release signed by his spokesperson Sanusi Baturi, ordering for the arrest of the deposed Emir Aminu Ado Bayero. And when we got to the police told us that they will be obeying the court order that stopped the appointment of Sanusi Lamido as the Emir of Kano. And we asked the police to, were they aware that the state governor have also told them that they are to arrest Aminu Ado Bayero. The Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Gumel, told us that they have not received any of such order, and they've just seen it on social media, just as we have also seen it they have also seen it on the social media like others too. So for them, they will be obeying an order, restraining the appointment of Sanusi here as the Emir of Kano. But in the whole, the state is filled with tension, a lot of apprehension. People are wondering what will be the next move. Both of them are claiming to be the Emir of Kano, while they continue to receive visitors in their various palaces. Visitors have been paying homage to Emir Sanusi Lamido here, and also too at the Nasarawa Palace too. Emir Aminu Ado Bayero too have also been receiving dignitaries, also paying homage to him. So this is the incident, this is how it is unfolding here in the ancient city of Kano. And as more updates comes, we'll definitely provide it up to you, dear.
Well, Arise correspondents are in Kano. Ayo Adenaye and Nisi Gabriel are going to be joining me now for updates discussing this tension that is obviously brewing in the ancient city of Kano. Thank you both for joining me on The World Today. Please, can you give us an update as to what's been going on in the past few hours?
Well, thank you for having us, Awa. The ongoing events in Kano, as you can see, look, these are supporters of Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, because we are right at the Emir Palace, and these supporters are trooping in. You can see them right behind us. We are yet to get a picture of what is actually going on. But as I was saying earlier, the happenings in Kano have intensified political turmoil within the Kano State Emirate Council, as there are clear indications that the crisis ongoing now has some sort of political undertone behind it. Well, the picture we have in Kano is a case of two kings and a throne. And it even gets more deeper and interesting as we have Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, who was reinstated a few days ago, occupying the Emir Palace, while the deposed Emir, Ado Bayero, occupies the Nasarawa Palace. Well, Ayo, you've been in town, and it's an interesting period, I must say, when it comes to the traditional institution of Kano and what's happening here in the Kano State Emirate Council. So fill us in. What's the whole story behind this whole court order? Earlier in the day, the police said they will rely and they will obey the court order. And if you go to the Nasarawa Palace, where you have the Ado Bayero staying there, a lot of military presence there. The SS, the police, and the military. And it seems as if he has some sort of federal backing. So just fill us in. What's happening?
All right, I will say a lot is happening in Kano. And when you talk about the interesting times for us here, you can also think about the stressful time also for us, because we've been on the field since 1 a.m. And let me just say that we've not been able to even move an inch, even to go and take our bath. It has really been a challenging day for us here in Kano. Started all from 1 a.m. and there was an initial plan that Emir Sanusi will be brought to this particular palace, hopefully by Sunday or by Monday. But the state government seems to get a feeler, like the deputy governor also confirmed to us, seems to get a feeler earlier last night that there are plans to bring in the post-emir, Aminu Ado Bayero, into the state. And going by that information that they have within their ambit, they quickly moved, Sanusi Lamido to this particular palace at about 1 a.m. And right there, the governor assigned the deputy governor to address us as regarding the development. And he alleged, I'm quoting the deputy governor now, he alleged that there are plans to bring in Aminu Ado Bayero into the state. And he alleged that these plans are being sponsored by the national chairman of the APC, that is Abdullahi Ganduje, and the office of the national security advisor. That is an allegation that was made by the deputy governor of the state, and he told us that such move will be resisted. And as part of effort to resist such move, the governor of the state has been in this particular palace since 1 a.m. He has not left this palace. He said he's going to be here until he ensures that Sanusi remains the emir of the state. And immediately at about 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. when we left this particular place to move out and see what's really happening, we saw that the post-emir, Aminu Ado Bayero, driving into the Nasarawa Palace, which is just a stone throw from this particular palace where we find ourselves. He was also received by mammoth crowd, cheering him up, amid tight security also. And thereafter, he moved into this palace, receiving people, greeting him, and so on. And from there, the police also called us that they will also be interested to give us an update as regarding the development in the state. And let me just add that while we were moving to the police headquarters, we saw a press release from the spokesperson to the governor, who said the governor has ordered for the arrest of Aminu Ado Bayero for violation and of other things and so on. And so when we got to the police, done with their briefing, as part of their briefing, they said they are going to obey the court order that restrained the state government from reinstalling Sanusi Lamido as the emir of Kano State, because there was a court injunction as of Friday which states that the state government should not go ahead to appoint Sanusi Lamido as the emir of Kano State. So the police told us that they are going to go by this particular court injunction. And we also, done with the briefing, we asked the police as part of our questions that what happens to the order that you received from the governor. The police commissioner of police, that is Mohammed Gumel, told us that he has not received such order. He has not seen any of such letter. He has only been hearing it on social media, like other people have been hearing. And from there, they moved. Because they had a joint security briefing. From there, they moved to the Nasarawa Palace that houses Aminu Ado Bayero. They had a brief meeting with him, a closed-door meeting, and from there, they left also. They left him there, ensuring that both of them, or ensuring that he is under a very, very heavy security presence. You were also there. And the same thing too, when you come to this particular place where we find ourselves, the Rumfa Palace too, where Sanusi is presently now, is also very, very, covered with heavily security. And one strange, or should I say one funny thing, is that both of them seems to be deploying the same tactics. Sanusi earlier today came out of this palace, to receive dignitaries, to receive homage, to receive people who came to pay him homage, and he was waving them and so on his horse and so on, and he went to the palace to relax. Few minutes also, the Emir too, there too, Aminu Ado Bayero too, also came out, to also receive his supporters who came to also cheer him up and so on. Later on, he went back to his palace and, they continued to give. So for now, the big question is who occupies the Kano Emirate? That is the big question on the lips of the people of the state.
Great one, Ayo. Fantastic job you're doing. Like I said earlier, it's a case of two kings and the throne here in Kano State. And it's also important to state that the Office of the National Security Advisor debunked that allegation. They said they were not involved in bringing in Emir Aminu Ado Bayero into Kano State. So that was from the office of the National Security Advisor. Well, one question on the minds of many is as regards this court order, that it seems to be, it seems like the political actors want to compel people to obey the court order. Recall back when Ganduje was the governor of Kano State, a similar incident played out. It was a court order restraining him from doing what he did by dethroning Emir Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi then. But he went ahead to bring in Aminu Ado Bayero. So now it's not the table has turned, the tides have turned. So now my question to you is, what are the people of Kano saying as regards this court order? And recall, the spokesperson to the governor did say that the court order got to them late, after the governor had signed the bill into law and after the reinstatement of Emir Lamido Sanusi. So what happens going forward?
All right, well, for the people of the state, you know, it's a divided camp. It depends on whose camp you are listening to. One of the camps believe that when Ganduje did it, he has both the federal might, what they allege, and they also have the state might, because APC control Kano then, and they also control the top, which the president then. And also, presently as we speak, NNPP controls Kano, while APC controls the national. So that is what a lot of people are alleging, that is because they don't have the federal might, in quote, how they see it. But we are also privileged to also meet with the man, which we are going to share his track, hopefully in the course of our news, who took the matter to court, Aminu Nambaba Agundi. And we asked him, why did you decide to take this matter to court? And he said he felt because he's also a traditional title holder too. He was also appointed by Aminu Ado Bayero to head one of the districts here in Kano. And we asked him, why did he decide to take this matter to court? He said, well, he felt his right has been infringed upon, and because of that, he has no choice than to take the matter to court. And on the issue of whether, because one of the issues that the governor also raised was that this court order was signed allegedly by the judge. He said the judge is in America. When he signed this particular judge, it was done on social media, it was done virtually and so on. You know, the man said, well, the world is a global world now, that the judge can be anywhere to issue any ex parte order, and that according to the court paper, they should maintain the status quo until June 3rd, when this matter will be heard. And if the matter is heard, if the court now say, okay, Aminu, you have no case, you can go. If the court says, Sanusi, you have no case, you can go. That is when they will now accept it. But for now, they remain, everybody continue to claim hold. And you can see, they all have, you know, Kano is a large state. They all have a supporters. Here is so crowded, heavily. When you go there too, you also see that it's very well crowded. But one thing that has also generated concern, especially in here where we are, where Sanusi is presently, you discover that there seems to be, you know, the presence of, you know, the security presence seems not to be much higher any longer as what we have. Because I was here in the morning, we know how this place was so barricaded by security operatives and so on, but it seems not to be so again. And when you look around, what you begin to discover that we have the state, what we call the Karota, Kano Road Transport Agency, who are gradually being the one, you see them on yellow dress manning here. You also see gradually seeing those, you know, vigilantes too, also being the one in the manning this particular environment, which is not replicated in the other palace. So these are some of the issues that have been raising concern in the state now.
Well, you've heard it, our Kano State is a bit busy. A lot of, I would say, heightened tension, but it's been managed to an extent. Well, and there are many opinion leaders out there in Kano who are saying the federal government has no business when it comes to chieftaincy matters because it relies solely on the state governor. So it begs the question, why the interest in the emirship of Kano State? And that's $1 million question on the minds of many here in Kano. Back to you, Hawa, in the studio.
Nisi Gabriel and Aya Adinaye, truly a Game of Thrones situation happening in Kano State. Thank you so much for your thorough reporting and for keeping us up to date on what's going on.